All right. Hey guys, long time no talk. For the three of you that actually watch these videos. As the title suggests, I'm now 2 weeks out, just under 2 weeks out from my first bodybuilding show. And if any of you kind of match up the time frames, that doesn't match from my last video where I was saying I was 12 weeks. Pretty much what's happened is this competition I'm doing in 2 weeks was the original competition we wanted to do. And when I say we, me and my coach. And unfortunately, we decided not to do it because he competes this same weekend in the IFBB. But we figured out that my division, Classic Physique, will actually be on the Saturday and his will be on the Sunday, even though we're in different federations. So we're gonna do it. We're going for it because I'm so skinny at the moment. I'm too skinny. 2 weeks out. I had a cheat meal 2 days ago. Well, more of a refeed than a cheat meal, just because of how skinny I am. And we're trying to hold on to what's there. I could probably almost step on stage in 1 or 2 days. So I'm in a really good spot. Now, in terms of where have I been, I had grand plans of, documenting and recording this prep pretty much the entire way. In my last video, I mentioned that I left my job. Although that was true, it wasn't entirely true. So because I was in a manager's position, I had to do kind of like a bit of a handover transitional period. And at this same time, we just opened a new venue, which is what I was originally supposed to be running. And I had just been so busy, I haven't had the time to pick up the camera on top of, gym, eating, everything else. Like I've stayed, prep's been really good. I've stuck to my prep. I've been to the gym every day. I've been doing my cardio. I've been eating, doing what I'm supposed to be eating, but editing videos and filming myself and everything else, it just wasn't really practical, unfortunately. Basically, I have 2 weeks off from that job before I go back in a much lower position. So content creation should hopefully be back on the cards for me. Another funny thing from my last video is I spoke about how well I was handling the prep. Roughly about 2 weeks after that video, prep started kicking my ass. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Energy's low. I'm not sleeping really well. I'm frustrated all the time. I'm assuming because of just the lack of food. Not that I'm complaining, because this is what I've decided to do. It's a conscious choice for me to to do this, right? No one's forcing me to do it other than myself, I suppose. But so I'm not complaining. The reality has finally happened and the struggle is real. So I've got 2 weeks left. Hopefully we do well at the competition, even though it's only my first one. A man can dream. Going into it, I know no matter how I do, I know that I've done everything in my power to show up in the best possible condition that I possibly can. And because of that, I won't care if I come dead last. I'll just be proud of the fact that I've done it. But that being said, I'm still also in line to compete, lined up to compete in another, 6 weeks from now at the end of April as well for the original show that we were going to do. So we're going to do that. And then if I do well enough at either of them, fingers crossed we make it to nationals. If not, that's fine. The bulk starts again and we get ready to go again next year. So as of right now, I am about to eat some rice cakes, banana and honey. And then I'm going to go to the gym and train chest and shoulders. And I'm going to bring you guys with me and just talk about what's going on. Let's do it. All right, here we are at the gym. Chest and shoulders today. Pretty sure I already said that. Aim of the game is squeeze the fuck out of the muscle. Not too heavy, which is kind of depressing, but with how depleted I am, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not here to kill myself. I'm here just to keep the muscle stimulated and hold on to it as much as I can while I'm in this deficit. Because like I said, I'm super skinny at the moment, super skinny. I've never been this skinny before in my life. I don't know what my body fat percentage is, but my coach reckons I'm like 5%, which is pretty crazy. I mean, there's a lot of downsides to being so skinny. For example, cardio hurts my knees and feet. Testosterone levels are down, so sex drive is non-existent. Hungry all the time, frustrated all the time, can't sleep properly. It's just, yeah, it's rough, but the light is at the end of the tunnel. And as I said before, no one's forcing me to do this. This is something that I want to do and I'm passionate about it. It's probably one of the most depressing things about being on prep. As I said before, it's not maxing out every single lift that you do, because we all just want to swing around big weights. Also feeling depleted. It's also pretty fun. I swear every single bench I ever use is lopsided. Can never figure it out. Up the weight a little bit, a couple less reps. It's feeling good actually. It's not feeling too bad. Shit. One more. Whew. No one caught up to me. Convinced I live in the Matrix. As soon as I went to touch the machine, I got taken. That's okay, we improvise. You do what you gotta do. It's a shared space. Probably helps me put my weights away. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm really struggling here. I want to talk to the camera, but I just feel like such an idiot. It's kind of ironic because in my last video I was preaching about how you just got to do it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I was hoping to come at a quieter time. It's currently at 11:30 on a Monday, so I was kind of expecting everyone to be at work, but there's a few people here. So not only am I trying to stay out of the way, I'm trying to look inconspicuous, not like a flog. So that combined with the fact that I have no energy, it's fantastic. Yeah. So apart from feeling like shit, prep's doing really well. My coach is really happy where I'm at. I'm relatively happy where I'm at. I feel skinny super skinny, but that's natural bodybuilding. That's what it is. It's more about condition rather than pure size. I mean, there's only so much you can do naturally. I think I'm kind of gifted with a decent structure, although, like I said, I don't have much mass. But that is what it is. I've only been training for, I think it's just under 4 years now. Probably only 2 years of actual serious training, and those serious training years probably was only locked in for about a year of that even. So it's taken me quite a while to light a fire under my ass and get shit done. But working out is the long game. I've been consistent for 4 years, which is nice. You know, virtually every day. Diet's probably the only thing that's really let me down, but it's all learning. You know, if it was easy to do, everyone would be a bodybuilder. Everyone would look like C-bum in 3 months. So, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. You only compare yourself to you. Surely I am competing in a competition, but at the end of the day, it's not about being number one. It's about being a better version of yourself. And the discipline and the confidence that I've found in the gym is just incredible. It's turned me into a whole different person. So I've got one more set of these, 8 reps. And then hopefully my flat press machine will be free not long after. Finding the sweet spot between not too heavy, but heavy enough is very hard for me. Because I just want to lift as heavy as I possibly can. But at this point in the deficit, I'm at a very high risk of injury and just completely burning out in the first couple of sets. So definitely training more for a pump, but still trying to keep somewhat of intensity. I feel like it's tricky because I still need to be training hard, but because I'm so depleted, my body gets tired quicker, but I can still push myself that little bit more over the edge. And every day is different. Some days are great. Some days, despite the depletion, I'm just so full of energy. Other days, today is kind of more one of them. I'm just super flat and honestly don't have much motivation, but we're here. And like I said earlier, I've got 2 weeks off everything now, so I have strict instruction from my coach to chill out. Even the cardio, we're dialing back a little bit, just trying to eliminate any stress or fatigue leading up into the show, so I can show up in the best possible condition, which is all we want to do. It's all I want to do. I mean, the last 6 months have been purely for this one day coming up. Sounds a bit dramatic, but I mean, if you're about it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, so chest is done. Now we're going to hit some shoulders, and then we'll do a little bit of posing, a couple of rounds, practice some posing, and then we're done for the day. Head home, and I've got a little bit of meal prep to do. Apart from that, I'm just going to eat some meals and play some games, I guess, just chill out. I have a lot of people at the moment who ask me how I do it, where I find the motivation. I mean, it's an old and probably fairly overused saying now, but it's not motivation, it's discipline. For example, today, I don't really want to be here that much. But in a way I also do. I'm kind of really lucky that I have the goal of wanting to be a bodybuilder. It kind of forces me to push myself and continually better myself. The goalposts are constantly moving. So, you finish your bulk, you get to your goal weight, or or whatever, and then start cutting again. The goalpost moves straight away. So, for example, I have this show coming up, and just because I'm not the show, it's not over. I've got another show in April, and then after that show, and both shows I want to do as good as possible, I then bulk again to do my next show. It's like a carrot on the stick. The goal is constantly evolving, constantly moving. So when I hit a goal weight or a PB or a whatever, it's not okay, I'm done now. So that's one place where I'm really blessed. The biggest advice I have for people that are starting out or want to pursue just the gym as a lifestyle in general is ease into it. Too many people, they burn themselves out. They try and do everything in one go, like as in gym 6 days a week, plus their cardio, plus some super strict diet. And it just doesn't, it's not realistic, especially combined with certain lifestyles or whatever. I'm a big believer in slowly easing your way into it. First, just go to the gym. Figure out, lifting weights a little bit, get some technique under your belt. Then maybe start tracking your calories, not necessarily macros, but just try and have somewhat of an idea on what's coming in and out of your body every day. Then maybe you can throw in tracking your steps, slowly over the course of 6 months to a year. I think it takes for someone to really learn how to do it. I mean, I'm 3.5, 4 years in, and I'm still learning every day, still evolving. I don't think I know it all. I definitely know I don't. I figured a lot out, but even every 6 months I'll break a plateau because for example, if I'm doing a chest press or something, I'm like, oh, what if I try and move my shoulders this way? And all of a sudden it's like a light bulb moment and my chest activates 10 times more than it ever has before. That doesn't happen as much anymore now, only with my weaker muscle groups like my legs. I'm really still learning how to use my legs properly. My legs are probably my weak point at the moment due to some postural issues and just bad habits that I built over the years of training. But everything else has came a really long way. Even my back. My back is something probably within the last 3 months I've figured out how to train more efficiently, more effectively. You don't just come in here and move the weight. You have to move it with a purpose. You have to know how to use the muscle you want to use, and that's not easy to do. Like you can't just tell someone do this and then they know how to perfectly activate their back when doing a row. Some people might. Some people are more gifted than others in certain muscle areas. Some people just get it, some people don't. It takes time, and the only way to figure it out is by doing it. If you don't do it, you'll never find out. Too many people wait for the perfect conditions which is just adding another variable of failure to anything you do. You know, consistency isn't being perfect every day. Consistency, you have up days, you have down days. You know, like I was having a conversation with someone recently where I work, because I haven't been sleeping well. I'm lucky to get 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night because I'm constantly waking up. You know, it's just, it sucks. And I'm dead tired all day, every day. And I still go to the gym at the end of the day. And they ask me, oh, you know, why are you still going to the gym? Well, because I have a goal, because I have something I want to do. And, you know, if I just have days off, how am I going to place decently at the show? Which I guess is hypocritical in a way to say, because I did say earlier, you know, it's not about winning, but that's not necessarily to win. It's to know that I've done everything in my power that I can to succeed. You know, if I have days off, or just, you know, every now and have a cheat meal when I'm not supposed to, you know, like, what's the point? This is something that I want to do, something I want to pursue, and I'm paying a lot of money to do it. Like, bodybuilding's not cheap. Apart from the diet and supplements alone, you know, to compete in this show, I've spent upwards of $600, not including accommodation. The one in April is like another $800. So, you know, the suffering will be worth it in the end when I can say that I've done it. It was funny how fast the switch flicked for how hard prep became. I used to never be hungry. You know, like I was cruising, I still had plenty of energy, strength felt fine, and even roughly eating the same amount of calories 1 week, just out of nowhere, hit me like an absolute truck. I'm assuming, I don't really know the science behind it, but I'm assuming once my body fat got so low, it kind of just got to the point where, you know, my body no longer had that little extra bit of fuel to keep it going. Like, I mean, people think I'm sick when they see me, because I usually hide my physique. You know, wear oversized stuff like this. Body dysmorphia is pretty cool. But you know, like, I definitely do look muscular. I just don't have much mass. But like I said before, that's kind of what natural bodybuilding is about. It's not really necessarily about the mass, more so than just the conditioning. That combined with the fact that I'm super pale, I don't look that impressive without a shirt on. And even with a shirt on, I just kind of disappear anyway. So whereas when I was kind of a little bit puffy, like a bit on the bulk, I did look like I lift weights. I mean, I probably still do, to the extent of like my shoulders and stuff. Like, you know, you can kind of tell when someone lifts by how broad they kind of look, even in shirts and stuff. But to the untrained eye, you just look super skinny, which I am. And you can't tell. Got that death face going on. So, which is pretty cool to see. I mean, you know, I never thought I'd get this far. 3 or 4 years ago when I started, this was so far never obtainable in my mind. But you know, consistency, hard work, and dieting, we've got there. Probably longer than it would take most people, but at least I've done it. I feel like I've said it about 6 times now. So we're going to finish up with some more lateral raises, and then a little bit of rear delt work at the end, and then a bit of posing, and I'm out of here. Go eat some food. Okay. This is how we're looking at the moment. Nice and lean. Okay, that's it for today's video. I'm going to do a couple of rounds now. Going to hide that from YouTube for a little bit longer. Sorry today's video was probably terrible, but yeah.